Rev your engines and fasten your seatbelts. It's time for Thunder Talk with Dan Bailey, keeping you up to date on everything going on this season at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Thunder Talk is powered by Arcadia Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Now, here's your host, Dan Bailey.
Hey race fans, welcome to another edition of Thunder Talk on the WINONA Sports Network 99.3. I'm Dan Bailey. I want to tell you about a special event at Mississippi Thunder Speedway that has got everybody excited. But first, those of you who are listening to Thunder Talk on the radio are missing at least half the discussion. So if you want to hear the entire discussion, point your favorite internet browser to YouTube and do a simple search for Thunder Talk with Dan Bailey. You can hear today's edition of Thunder Talk in its entirety, and you can even check out prior editions of Thunder Talk as well. For those of you who are listening via the YouTube stream, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, throw some comments down below, and click that bell so that you're notified of future editions of Thunder Talk that are uploaded to YouTube for you to enjoy. All right, big special event at Mississippi Thunder Speedway as we close in on the last few dates of the 2023 season. The Prelude to the Stock Car Nationals, a $3,000 to win special event at Mississippi Thunder Speedway for the USRA Stock Cars, with additional action on track by the USRA Hobby Stocks and the USRA B-Mods, both of those divisions battling for $1,000 to win each. We are expecting a huge turnout, and joining me on this week's edition of Thunder Talk to get us all ready for the Prelude to the Stock Car Nationals is Mississippi Thunder Speedway owner Bob Timm. Bob, welcome back to Thunder Talk. It's been a while since we've been able to chat with you on the Thunder Talk program.
Yeah, it has. It's got to be a couple of years at least, I would think.
I know, right? Well, we've picked a great date to talk about, you and I, on the Thunder Talk program, because we're bringing the stock cars and we're bringing a whole lot of them with this Prelude to the Stock Car Nationals. First things first, Prelude. Now, the Prelude is referring to a special event that's going to be taking place on Saturday at Deer Creek Speedway, but this is really a 4-night swing that started Thursday night and continues on into Sunday for these stock car drivers, and there's a lot of excitement for this class and this 4-day special swing, isn't there?
Yeah, it is. The stock cars has been a class that's always been extremely popular and produces just some amazing racing on Iowa, and it's really kind of migrating north, growing in popular in Minnesota and up here in Wisconsin. And actually, there's quite a bit of them over in eastern Wisconsin too. I think you maybe see some of the guys up here this weekend, and so we're expecting a great field of cars. I know late models are cool and modifieds are cool, but if you want to see some side-by-side competitive racing, I don't think there's anything that does it better than these stock cars.
And you're not only excited about this because you're the track owner, you've actually piloted one of these USRA stock cars at Mississippi Thunder Speedway and actually enjoyed a lot of success picking up a couple of feature wins. So what is it about these stock cars that make them fun to drive and fun to watch for us race fans?
For me anyways, they're pretty cool, first of all. Second of all, it's like the weight, the horsepower ratio and the traction all kind of works out very well, in that you never really want more power, but they got enough traction to move out of a groove and make passes. But at the same time, it's almost kind of hard to get away from another car. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very much side-by-side race, and it's not like you see somebody pass someone and just drive away from them. They stay very close to each other, and they're a lot of fun to drive. After I drove that, when I had the opportunity, John First and Jim Owens gave me an opportunity to drive that car, and I've been wanting to buy one since then, just so busy with the racetracks, and I haven't done it, but it might not be long before you see me back in one again.
I have heard some people say that the USRA stock cars are kind of like a modified with a hobby stock body on it. Is there any validity to that when you're piloting one of these?
There is, because I've driven other cars, similar full-body cars, and they don't feel like they have the traction like the stock car does, and they don't get a lot of chassis roll, so they sit kind of very flat, and you just don't feel the car move around once. These stock cars, I mean, the way they got the bar angles and things in them, just the way they're set up, you can really feel them kind of roll up on the right rear, and you'll see them pull the left front wheel off the ground a couple feet sometimes. But unlike modified and stock cars, sometimes that's actually pretty fast. So they got a real good feel from the seat, and makes it really fun to drive.
You mentioned another point that I think makes it exciting for those of us who are in the grandstands, and for somebody who maybe has never been to a dirt track and has only been exposed to maybe top-level asphalt racing on TV. It's kind of like what you might see at Talladega or Daytona. Everybody's racing in a group in this stock car class, and like you mentioned, you're going to enjoy a lot of side-by-side action. 3 wide is almost the norm at MTS, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Even the B-Mods and modifieds will get some of that action going on. But these full-body cars, in particular, the stock cars, where they got that little bit more horsepower than the hobby stock, so they can step out and take advantage of a cushion. It's not uncommon, particularly on restarts. And when the guys kind of get grouped back together, to see them go 4 and 5 wide, and they're all really good drivers. The class is just laden with quality drivers and drivers that can run side by side multiple laps without contacting each other. So a lot of trust amongst the drivers. So you'll see them commonly get in there and go 3, 4, 5 wide. And like I said, even if you're the guy that kind of gets out of that 5 wide group and takes the lead, it seems like you get out front and you just really can't get away from them. So the challenge never ends. You really got to drive a clean race because everybody's going about the same speed.
Now, there has been a post put up on the Mississippi Thunder Speedway Facebook page listing some of the drivers who have already verbally committed to coming to tonight's Prelude to the Stock Car Nationals at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. And it does read like a who's who of all 3 of these divisions. We've got at least 6 of the top 10 in the national point standings in the stock car division, about half of the top 10 in the hobby stocks and B-mod divisions. This is pulling the creme de la creme of all 3 classes.
It really is, and when you get that quality of field of drivers together in stock cars and in hobby stocks and B-mods as well, you can expect a lot of side-by-side racing, flying jobs. It's going to be exciting racing, I think, all night long, and I think Tyrone's been working hard on that list to get commitments from those nationally ranked drivers, and I think he's even up to 8, 9, 10 in some of those classes of top 10 national points leaders right now.
Coming into the Mississippi Thunder Speedway Prelude to the Stock Car Nationals, Derek Green out of Grenada, Minnesota is the current point leader, but our own Braden Jerry, our own track champion for 2023, is in the top 4, and he's not too far out. And several of the other drivers who visit Mississippi Thunder Speedway, Kyle Falk sitting 5th. He's a regular at MTS. Mitch Hovden comes up when he can. He's currently 2nd. So not only are we going to see them battling for the money at MTS, but they're also battling for these all-important USRA national points. And here's a little something that some people may not realize. There are so many USRA national champions that have been regulars at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. This place just breeds champions, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. All the way back to the days when we used to run a race under the Dakota sanctioning body. That was the case back then. It was usually settled at our pumpkin race, many of the national points championships in the soda classes. And it's really no different in USRA. And even this year, being the first year with stock cars, we've had a quality field of cars. A lot of those guys like coming up here because they know we put on some big shows and they want to be good at this place. So, some of them guys that have frequented the place all year long, hopefully they'll have a little bit of an advantage out of amongst some of those national points leaders when they get up here.
We're going to have some great action from the hobby stocks and the B-mods. I don't want to slight them, but we are kind of focusing on the stock cars. And you had mentioned that this is the first full season for the stock cars at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. What sort of feedback have you heard from those drivers who have been there week in and week out about the track, about the class, etc.?
I've gotten nothing but good feedback. Any interest from the other drivers, people that haven't raced or aren't racing currently, and people in other classes that were looking for different classes. They've been in the class they were racing for a long time. The guys that are running the class are very excited about the track and how it races with a stock car, and I think you can really look to see that class grow in the coming years because there's a lot of interest from drivers that aren't out there right now and drivers in other classes that want to make a change.
I don't know how close you've been able to see some of the other stock car competitors who are battling for the championship who are not regulars at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Derek Green has 22 feature wins this year. What a year he's had. Our own Braden Jerry has 11, 7 of which have come at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Do you think our own Braden Jerry might have something for Derek Green, being that he has run the entire season at MTS?
I've raced with Derek Green, and I've watched Derek Green race, and he is an aggressive, talented driver and one of the fastest stock cars in USRA right now. So I think Braden's going to be happy he's got that experience on track because I think he's going to need it to be competitive with Derek. And I think them, amongst 3-4 other guys, are going to put on an amazing show.
All right. Well, Bob, we appreciate you giving us the time to chat with us on Thunder Talk. We're all excited and we're all looking forward to the Prelude to the Stock Car Nationals at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. But this isn't even the end of our year. We've still got a 2-day Great Pumpkin Special coming up at the end of September, don't we?
Yeah, we're excited for that race. Always a fantastic turnout. We usually got a DJ and a big bonfire and a tremendous car count and good racing that time of year when it's a little bit cooler. So, yeah, we always look forward to our team event.
All right, Bob, I appreciate your time. We're going to let you get back to work on the racetrack, and we're looking forward to some great green flag action. Thanks for joining us this week on Thunder Talk.
Right on. Thanks, Dan.
That was Thunder Talk, keeping you up to date on everything going on at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Thunder Talk is powered by Arcadia Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
You ever notice that when you're on a fishing trip, you drive your boat all the way to the other side of the lake because you think that's where the best fishing is? And the people staying at the cabins on that side of the lake, well, they come and fish where your cabin is. you don't have to drive a long ways to catch the big fish. And at Arcadia Motors, you don't have to drive a long ways to get the best deal on a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram truck. The best deals are right in the bay next to your cabin. Take the short, scenic drive to Arcadia Motors. ArcadiaDodge.com.